All right, guys, I just want to do a quick little video regarding some of the illustrations that were put up on the screen yesterday at the district meeting. Some people have asked me to send the illustrations, but I think this would be a better tool for you guys to use, kind of like seeing how I created that illustration. Okay, so this one, we're just going to do the life insurance retirement planning strategy where we're talking to someone about diversifying their retirement income. They may have a 401k. This could be their only retirement vehicle. So we'll talk to a retiree. I'm not sure if I'm spelling that right, but you get the idea. We're just going to say it's a 40-year-old male. And we're going to be doing this obviously with the FIUL. So we're looking at the Index Universal Life, find available products, hit select. Okay, once the screen finishes loading, it defaults to $250,000 face amount and also with a platinum rate class. Okay, we're just going to go with that. Keep in mind it's also on increasing death benefit. Let's see. Yes, this is a policy owner because we're looking at potentially cross-selling our book. And yeah, you've taken the assessment. Okay, so let's calculate results. All right. From what we see, let me just make some notes here. 40-year-old male, platinum, 250 death benefit. Okay, and then we're going to make the note that target premium is $267.71. All right. Now what I'd like to see is what is GL non-MEC. So I'll just select that from the drop-down box, click GL non-MEC, and then hit calculate results. Once I do that, it's typically a way higher number. All right, so that's $831.25. GL non-MEC. $831.25. So this is your range. If you're going to be building a plan for this customer, there's almost like a spectrum of where you can play with in terms of picking the right premium. It's going to depend on the client's objective. Is it mainly geared to just having life insurance coverage, or is it mainly to kind of create this retirement strategy? The one we saw on the screen yesterday, it was definitely for someone that's maybe it doesn't have a 401k or wants to diversify their retirement income. So they're going to be putting a lot of extra money into this plan. So in this kind of spectrum, 267 here, 831 over here, we can kind of say, I think yesterday what we showed you was $1,000 a month, so $12,000 annual. It doesn't have to be that. It can be somewhere in between. Why don't we just say, for a nice round number, $600? That's somewhere in the spectrum, and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so going back to the premium type here, you're going to select specified. We're going to pick the premium of $600. Oopsies, 600. Perfect. That's your EFT premium. So $7,200 annually. And right here, this little field is for how long the customer is going to pay for the policy. If we're doing this for more of a retirement play, I'd like to be able to demonstrate to the client why when you get to retirement, this will be, you no longer have to pay this. So what you can do here, you notice how it said Y 100? That means you're paying it for 100 years, until year 100. So what I want to do is put A 65. What that means is I'm only going to be funding it until I'm 65 years old. So I'm going to make that change and show it to you guys. So we should say $7,200 annually being paid, and then at age 65, you notice that that's the last time we have to pay. So from 66 on, no premium is needed for the policy. Okay. So scrolling back up to 65, because at that point is where we're going to kind of turn on the faucet. That's where we're going to start distributing from this policy. The whole idea behind this was if I die between now and retirement, well, then my spouse will receive whatever death benefit at the given year that I pass away. But I've made it now to retirement age. I'm going to start withdrawing money from my cash value life insurance policy. And we have $330,000 that we can begin withdrawing. So now it's just There's no magic formula. It's just kind of doing some trial and error and figuring out how much I can pull out. Now, the variables to kind of play with is the actual withdrawal amount over how many periods of time. So we could say, why don't we see what $60,000 a year for, I don't know, 10 years. Let's see what that does. If I'm taking too much out, then we'll have to make some changes. So here's what I do. Number one, I would like to change death benefit options in the future. This is done because whenever I'm in my withdrawal phase, I want to keep my policy costs as low as possible. So when I go to age 65 here and now I'm withdrawing, I want to change it to a level death benefit. All I did is hit tab and it pre-populates it for the subsequent years. I'll hit OK, so that'll make it kind of perform as best as possible. Now I want to kind of show, okay, I'm cash flowing from the policy. That means I'm withdrawing. So how much money do you want to withdraw at what year? We said at age 65, let's do $60,000 for 10 years. Make sure that, I guess that button didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, 65 to 75 would be the easier way to do it. If I just exit that out and put 0 and hit tab, we'll hit OK. Hit calculate results. So now I've made some tweaks, right? I'm funding it at my specified premium. I'm only funding it to age 65. I've also changed death benefit options at age 65. So what you'll notice is, let's see, there's me paying it. Here's me withdrawing. And then I've somewhat frozen my cash value. Sorry, my death benefit at that number. And that number is going to go down because I'm spending down the money, right? So if I take out from age 65 or 66, looks like $60,000 is too much for this policy. So that's okay. It's okay. I just need to either withdraw less amount of money per year, and that's one tweak I can easily make. So I go back to the withdrawals, select here, and $60,000 is obviously way too much money. So what I'm going to do, $30,000. And let's just see how that performs. Because you also want to make sure that the policy will last to the client's liking. Like if the policy is dying at age 78, obviously there may be some concerns. Here I'm 65, no more premium. I'm taking out $30,000 a year, and looks like the policy can withstand that until the client's age 80. That may be okay with him or her, in this case him, or not. So it just depends on what I want to do is kind of just paint the picture of how this strategy works. Obviously, one component is I can fund it for a longer period of time. I can decide to put more money in, right? Because right now I'm doing 600. And what was my GL non-MEC? GL non-MEC was $831. So I can't surpass that number. And $600 was just a starting point. So I could easily just take this up and say, well, 600 doesn't get me to my objective. So the client's going to need to put in, let's just do 700. That's 8,400 annually, or calculate results. Everything else is the same, just I'm funding it a little bit more. So it's $8,400 a year. I started taking out $30,000 at age 66. I'm comfortably taking out $30,000 for, let's see, 75, that's 10 years. Sorry, 76 is 10 years. 86 is 20 years. So 23, 24 years I've taken money out. And the policy, it ends at age 90. And that may be okay with the client. But essentially what we're trying to do is build a policy or tell a story. So we sell conceptually. Someone can kind of understand easily, okay, I fund the policy this much, and then I can start pulling the money out. And if I die along the way, then I'm taken care of. So it's a nice strategy to diversify people's retirement. Okay, that's essentially how we did it. All right. Let me see if there's any other tweaks that we need to touch on. Yes, you can do solves here if you want to solve for a particular premium and face amount. If you want to solve for the amount of payments, premium, however, this is where the computer will kind of solve for you. What I did is more kind of hands-on, where you can kind of tweak things to your liking. Okay. This has been the life insurance retirement strategy, building up your policy for clients' retirement. I'll do another video right now where we'll talk about education. I'll do that on a separate though.